Monday night action in MLS Next Pro to cap off a massive match day 10 as we come to you from Osceola Heritage Park in Kissimmee, Florida, where Orlando City B hosts New York Red Bulls 2. And prior to tonight's match, as we convene on Memorial Day, Orlando and New York join in a moment of silence as we remember the fallen heroes who paid the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom. And to the business at hand, happy to have you this evening on MLSNextPro.com. I'm Joe Malfa. We'll take a look at the standings. These teams are neck and neck coming into this one today. New York in 4th, Orlando in 5th, only separated by the fact that New York had an extra draw as compared to Orlando's extra loss, and they happened to win in the shootout in that game as well. So they have a 2-point cushion for now. In this, what could be a decisive game here at the end of May to see who's 4th, who's 5th, and who has that sort of confidence going into the month of June. Well, right now, both of these teams playing with a tremendous amount of confidence. On the New York side, they've been outstanding defensively. 2-1 win the last time out against Huntsville. Prior to that, a pair of clean sheet victories, one over Inter Miami and one over NYCFC. Overall, for this New York team, in their last 7 matches, they have had 5 clean sheets that have been stellar defensively. Orlando coming off a 1-0 victory against Inter Miami on the road, and that was after a bit of a rocky stretch for this Orlando team. They lost to Atlanta in a shootout. They lost to Columbus and Crown Legacy in regulation. So after a rip-roaring start to the season in March and early April, they stumbled out of the gates in May and regathered themselves with a win over their rivals last time out, hoping to build upon that in this one. And Martin Perelman, if you've got something going for you after that last game against Inter Miami, why change it? Only one tweak to the starting 11 that sees Wilfredo Rivera earn his first start of the year. Jack Lynn up top is in terrific form right now, has 3 goals in his last 2 games, and on the season, last year's best 11 player in MLS Next Pro has 5 goals in 9 appearances. On the other side for New York, a younger team overall as far as the roster makeup, and some of the guys who have really catapulted them to this big start this season are not in the lineup tonight. They'll look up top for Frank Sevufu. He has 1 goal, 1 assist in his 7 starts this season. 22-year-old from Uganda, had 3 appearances for his country at the African Cup of Nations in the past year. A couple of youngsters in the 11 as well. Local academy product, 15-year-old Alan Rakowski gets his 3rd start in goal. One of the youngest players to ever debuted for this Red Bulls 2 side, the 15-year-old. It'll be Orlando in the purple from left to right, New York in the white from right to left. Referee tonight in yellow is Ivan Cruz. And we are underway to bring match day 10 to its conclusion. Here from Osceola Heritage Park in Kissimmee. Joe Malfa with you on MLSNextPro.com. The longest match day of the season so far around the league began in the midweek. Almost every team had multiple games this week, and it lasts all the way until Monday with this Memorial Day special. Naby Kibanguchi has played every minute of the season on that back line for Orlando. All the way out now to Moises Tablante. Attack first player at left back. That's the MO for this Orlando team. They love to use the width to attack, whether it's Alex Freeman on the near side or Moises Tablante on the far side. Almaguer. turn centrally by Medina. Outlet to Lynn. Took them a long time to break through against Inter Miami in the last game. Still around the hour mark. Jack Lynn out on the end of a ball from Alex Freeman. Here's Almaguer, punched away by Rutkowski. Stayed in. He hung up long enough to be cleared out for a corner. Rutkowski didn't have to move. Fired right at him and well struck by Almaguer. Laces through it. That was certainly going in, rising the whole way. Seemed like it had enough room to get under the crossbar. Tablante, Almaguer. Almaguer sends it in, cut centrally to Williams, shout for handball. It seemed like New York got away with one. Tough bang play. But the arms seem to be extended of Jaden Reed. Valencia back for Reed. Good early start from Orlando. When they were at their best in the early portion of the season, that was late March, early April, they were scoring early in matches, playing with leads, as now it's slipped through for Mullings, dealt with well by Tablante. You be the judge, penalty or no penalty. It's coming in right here on Reed. Tried to flail his right hand out of the way immediately. Everybody clad in purple raised the arm and signaled for it. Goes uncalled, and we stay in action here, 0-0. Otero coming off his second clean sheet of the season. Dangerously rolls it into play for Kibanguchi. They love to build out of the back. Orlando methodical in that build-up. Settled down by Freeman. It's Almaguer, already one good look from distance, plays it in, save made initially, and then it bounds in. Orlando on top early. And whenever there's something good going on offensively, you know Jack Lynn is involved. Too much space afforded to Almaguer. Picked his moment, played a great ball in. Lynn, the diving header, and an own goal. He won't get credit for this one, Lynn, but he made it happen. Last went in off of Diha, the right back. Bang play as Rutkowski made the save. Lynn has 3 goals in his last 2 games, and now tack onto that a generated own goal.
Your OCB goal scored by number 27.
Not an official stat, a generated own goal, but it counts for something. This team is at its best. It plays with a lead early on. That could be said of most teams, to be sure, but this team in particular this year has excelled in its ability to stay compact defensively and just release on the counter after taking an early lead. Here's D-Hop after the own goal, trying to get it right back. D-Hop, the young Brazilian, serves it up, flicked away. D-Hop just joined last week, made his debut on loan from Red Bull's Brazil affiliate. Offside flag was up on New York. kick at midfield for the home side. Opened the season with a 3-match regulation winning streak, and in all 3 of those games, they scored in the first quarter of an hour. They had a dip in the results from the end of April into the beginning of May. Talking to Martin Perelman, the head coach, it wasn't necessarily a dip in performance, just little mistakes here or there in the growth phase of a young team that led to goals allowed, that led to poor results, but overall performance is positive.
New York Red Bulls to number 33, Juan Esteban
Played in by Tablante. A yellow card was issued in there to Juan Gutierrez for that foul at midfield. First of the match. This portion of the match is brought to you by Orlando Health. Choose well. Recycled back to Tablante. Cut centrally for Almaguer. Almaguer's ball over the top. Flicked away. Solis. Medina. Solis once more. Put it behind Tablante, who recovers well. Tablante. Lynn looking back for Tablante. It was blocked. Now Lynn. A little back heel from Lynn to get it to Tablante. In the traffic in the box, Sheikh Mohammed working back defensively, wins it and brought down. Second straight start for Sheikh Mohammed. Mohammed, the number 2 overall pick in this past year's MLS draft. Otero. Sometimes they invite the pressure a little too much, but that is the way they approach it. It'll be interesting to see how they handle not having Juninho in the starting lineup for this one. Juninho, the crafty midfielder who typically bails them out of those situations when they are playing out of the back. Defensive midfielder drops in almost as an extra center back in possession. Springs the attack. Seen him carry it 20, 30 yards at a time, past multiple defenders. So good on the ball. Without his presence, can either Medina or Almaguer supply that same sort of dribble to safety, if you will, as they play out of the back? Wide for Valencia. A lot of youth national team experience in there for this Red Bull starting 11. Omar Valencia among that group, 4 appearances last summer at the CONCACAF Under-20 Championship with Panama. Also debuted last June with the senior team for Panama in a friendly against Uruguay. On it again here, Valencia, the 18-year-old. Gorday. Ricardo Gorday had his pocket picked by Almaguer. Gorday down that left wing, another one capped at the U17 and U20 levels with Panama. Have a number of those pairings Mullings, whether left and right of each other or front and back of each other in this Red Bull starting 11, who have chemistry from playing elsewhere, whether it's with a national team or a club team. The right side of the back line, Dija at right back, Juan Gutierrez at right center back. Both of those players just came in on loan in the last couple of weeks from Red Bull's Brazil affiliate, Bragantino. Early on, just very one-sided. Possession is 70-30 Orlando's way. Out shooting New York 4-0. And 3 shots on target to nothing. Rivera continues, it's deflected and saved by Rutkowski. Name is Shapiro Thompson, 3rd round pick this year out of Boston College. Started in New England Revolution's Academy, played with their MLS Next team at the lowest rung on the ladder of this pathway that MLS has created, from MLS Next to MLS Next Pro, up to the first team. Went off to college, and drafted by the Red Bulls. Shapiro Thompson making his 9th start of the season tonight. Time we've seen Otero do just that, drop the ball instead of sending it long on a punt. Waiting for that pressure and giving it off to Kibaguchi. See if New York can pick up on a way to press that, generate a turnover, maybe swipe a goal. Tablante. Rivera. Wilfredo Rivera through for Jack Lynn, but he did not time it well. Offside. Here for Lynn. About a step off in the end. Rivera held on to it a little bit too long. Mullings made 31 starts last year with this team in USL Championship. Remember, this is New York's first year in MLS Next Pro. Mullings was a 1st round pick last year for New York out of Florida Gulf Coast University. So a little bit of a homecoming for him today, back in the state where he played his college soccer. Shaq Mohammed sent skyward by Almaguer. Whenever you have a head coach who was a center back by trade, and a guy like Ibrahim Sakaya, who's in his first full season as the head coach of this New York team, you expect to be buttoned up defensively as they have been. Slipped through now from Mullings, laid off instead of going for goal. Here's Gourdet. Seemed like Mullings with his left foot could have gone for goal. Curled over the top, flicked on by Tablante. Well, you have a center back as your head coach. There's obviously going to be an emphasis on the defensive side of things. New York coming into the night, now just 9 goals on the season. On the flip side of that, they only have 11 goals scored. They managed to win a lot of games 1-0. Some danger here from Otero. Kibanguchi rescues it. Now Rivera. Taken down as he tried to release. Corday off to Dia. Dia's service. Flicked on by Medina. This portion of the match is brought to you by Exploria. Explore more and vacation better with Exploria Resorts. Solis dribbles out of tight quarters. Here's Lynn. Until their victory against Inter Miami just a few nights ago, Orlando. That was on May the 25th. They hadn't won since April 30th. Great start to the season. They look the side that would be challenging for one of the top spots in the Eastern Conference. All of a sudden, mini swoon at the beginning of May. You second guess things. And they come out with that performance against Inter Miami, just dominating in every way. Held on to it to win 1-0. Now a great start here tonight. Starting to look like that team once again, who we thought in late March, early April would be among the class of the Eastern Conference. Wilfredo Rivera slows it down. For Martin Perelman, he doesn't think that's an accident. Looked around the league, looked at some of the teams they were playing. Columbus, Atlanta, all teams that had very little turnover from last year. So they were starting from maybe step 4 or 5 this season. Whereas Orlando was starting from step 1. So much turnover in the roster, and within that, so many players coming from different countries where you're not only acclimating to a new team, but a new style of life in a new country. Tablante, step over, cuts inside. Tablante had it blocked. So we always knew it would take a little bit of time for all these guys to end up on the same page, mesh, get used to life as part of this club in this country. Thinks they were able to navigate that rather well, pick up results along the way to put them in a good spot in the table. Now they've fully come out the other side, and he fully expects this team to go on a bit of a run here into the summer. It's easy to see why. Goal kick on the way. 20 minutes in, a 1-0 lead for Orlando, courtesy of the own goal back in the 5th minute by the right back D-Hop of New York, generated by terrific diving header from Jack Lynn. Osceola Heritage Park in Kissimmee on MLSNextPro.com. I'm Joe Malfa, happy to have you with us. Here's D-Hop, Jarvis, and Shapiro Thompson. Jarvis, a young body in that midfield, 16-year-old. Just 2 appearances up from the academy for 27 minutes. Coming into tonight, earning his first start. Last game against Huntsville, 2-1 win for New York. That was their first win of the season in which they allowed a goal. Every other win they had in regulation had been a clean sheet. Here's Rivera on his left foot, eyeing a shot, had it blocked. Tablante, little nutmeg there, past Reed, centering for Rivera. What does that tell you? That last game was the first win they had in which they allowed a goal. It means they don't score a whole lot, only 11 goals this season. They also don't concede a whole lot, so to be down a goal 5 minutes in, uncharacteristic of this Red Bull side. It's April 16th. Here are the results for New York. 1-0 win, 1-0 win, scoreless draw that they won in a shootout, 2-1 loss, 2-0 win, 1-0 win, 2-1 win. So within that, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clean sheets. So defensively sound, despite their youth, despite some of the players that have come in and out. Perelman had to be thrilled that his Orlando side was able to unlock New York so early on. Have a bounce go your way like that on the own goal. Just ask almost anybody else in the Eastern Conference how difficult it has been to score on New York. It's been good to see New York find the level here in this league this year. Couple of years they had been doormats in USL Championship as they've continued to operate as a developmental team in the same way that they're operating here in Next Pro, but didn't quite work in a second division league, going up against much older professionals in most cases. Now here at the Next Pro level, talent is able to shine through a little bit more and develop here. Loose in front, generated by Mullings. That they're in fourth place coming into the night. Frank Sabufu giving a run ahead of Javier Otero, who looked like he would just secure it cleanly. A bit slow off his line. Kasule to Sabufu. Now back for Jarvis. Freeman got a head to it. Otero tried to prevent the corner. Unable to do so. Thompson in the back post. Shapiro Thompson sends it ahead, punched by Otero confidently. Shapiro Thompson. Sabufu. Better sustained pressure here from New York. Awkward hop coming on Otero, but he secures it. Williams. Rivera slips it through. Tablante was able to remain on side. Here's Rivera. Intercepted by Gourdet. Ricardo Gourdet gives it right back. Alex Freeman settles it down for Almaguer. Medina. Tablante. And Solis. Back and forth they go. Over the top to Lynn. Jack Lynn almost around the keeper. But the 15-year-old Rutkowski read it well off his line. You love to see that kind of courage and read of the play from a 15-year-old. You can see why They're so high on this kid. It's one thing to read that play, it's another to actually come off your line and make it happen. And it's one of the top scorers in the league. To do so without conceding a penalty. Came in, got all ball, no body. Overlap to Valencia. That's where it's broken down for New York. They've gotten into the final third on a number of occasions. They haven't connected once they've gotten there. Case in point, they have 17 final third entries here through 28 minutes. They have 3 touches in the opposing 18-yard box. On the flip side, Orlando, 12 final third entries. 10 times they brought it into the box. They're getting to the final third, New York, but they're not turning it into chances in the 18. Mullings lays it off. Shapiro Thompson. Once again, once they get around the 18, it breaks down New York. Organization's been through a lot in the last few weeks. Coaching change at the first team level. Gerhard Struber was ousted. Troy Lecen takes his place. Provided a little bit of a bounce in their results. Remains status quo for Ibrahim Sakaya here at the second team level. To Lynn, who's dropping very deep, uncharacteristically deep in this one. It's made him so lethal so far this season. Even when the service isn't there for him, he keeps his patience, he keeps his discipline, he stays atop the lines and waits for that service. That's how they scored last game against Inter Miami. Never saw him checking in deep to find a touch on the ball, to find the rhythm of the game. Waited for it to find him atop the line. And the one chance he got on the great ball in from Alex Freeman, he finished. Interesting to see Jack Lynn dropping deeper. Perhaps by design. The half-hour mark now with the 1-goal lead. So a bit of a different look tonight overall from Orlando as it's brought in by Mullings. End line still. Mullings in front. Terrific goal started by Mullings and finished in front by Kashule. Levels it in the 31st. Mullings with the ball tethered to his foot. Took it the whole way on the end line. And all Kashule had to do was tap it in. Slips it by multiple defenders. And there it is, just a tap in front for Kashule. Well done by Mullings. Harder than it looks from Kashule as well. Yes, it was a tap-in, but under some pressure by a sliding Kibunguchi. New York handled the early pressure from Orlando.
Number 31, Ibrahim Kassoul in the 31st minute.
Find an equalizing goal. We've got a brand new game here in the 32nd minute. Kibunduchi for Otero. And high line of pressure for New York is starting to get to Orlando. Rakowski calmly through for Jarvis, and now ahead for Mullings. Created that last goal. Nobody on the end of this one in a white jersey. Solis brought down awkwardly by Mullings. Just out for a throw-in. The way their feet got tangled up, Solis got the worst of it. Some players will use this as an opportunity for a quasi-hydration break here. Chance to regroup for Orlando after controlling the early portions of this one. Seeding in the 31st, up again. And against a team in New York that doesn't concede all that much. Slowly getting to his feet, Solis. Trying to walk it off. Been such a regular for this team this season. Started every match with one assist. 24-year-old from Colombia. This portion of the match is brought to you by Walt Disney World, the most magical place on earth. Given away off the throw by Orlando. Mullings quickly wanted to send it goalward. Balance of power in this game has completely shifted Red Bull's way. Lynn to Muhammad. Giving right back. Now Valencia. Sloppy bit of play in the midfield from both teams. Over the top from Jarvis for Diha to run onto, and he gets there. Diha centers it. It's Sabufu. It's touched around the post by Otero. Diha with the speed to get past Tablante. Sabufu, great run near post to get around Thomas Williams. But just pushed it past the post. reminder that Orlando is playing with 10 men right now. Solis was down beyond the allotted time, and it wasn't a head injury, so he is held off for 3 minutes for the rules here in MLS Next Pro. We're over a minute away from coming back on, getting us back to 11v11. All the way back to Reed. Jaden Reed, the homegrown signing, plays it back to the goalkeeper, Rutkowski. Sabufu. Sabufu commits the foul. Solis back out on the field, back to 11v11 after his 3-minute injury absence. It's been 9 minutes since New York equalized on the Kasule goal. Orlando took a 1-0 lead on a Diha own goal for New York back in the 5th minute. Held on to it for 26 minutes. All square again as we approach halftime. Medina, heavy touch, almost lost it to Sabufu. So much of the possession advantage for Orlando has been because of all of this playing around their own end here. A matter of time before New York turns it into something of their own. Orlando is playing with fire, struggling with this press of New York. Finally, they break it. Solis gets it off the ricochet, taken down. Free kick on the way. Remember, it's Gutierrez already on a yellow. He committed that foul. Might be a final warning now that he's popped back up on the referee's radar. You make the case that he deserved a second yellow for that one, by the way. Made no effort at the ball, through the back with a two-handed push. That's what Orlando was asking for. Fredo Rivera, the left-footed option, number 32. And John Solis, the right-footed option. It is Solis, saved by Rutkowski. Struck it well. Not enough pace on it to get it past the keeper, but almost placed perfectly. Medina from the corner, headed away. Freeman. discussed for Orlando at halftime. If we get there at 1-1, out shooting New York 8-3, but trouble with this press, and here it is again. Shapiro Thompson through for Jarvis. Freeman intercepts it. For all the shots they've had and opportunities they've generated going forward, they have nearly had a few moments like that defensively where they're unable to play through New York's press, and the Red Bulls generate opportunities from it. Valencia taken down. Free kick now for New York. Yellow card to boot. Issued to Medina. Medina, no doubt about it.
Ladies and gentlemen, a yellow card has been issued to OCB number 65, Cristian Medina, in the 44th minute.
Ricardo Gourdet stands over it. Three-man wall here from Otero. Seems concerned perhaps with a sneaky shot to the near post. Or will it be a service from Gourdet? Goes for goal and scores! Caught Otero off guard. And New York, after conceding in the 5th minute, has come all the way back and might take a lead into halftime. Three-man wall in anticipation of that shot. Oh, the wall separated. Otero should be livid. The wall separated.
Goal scored by number 80.
And the ball went right through the opening.
In the 45th minute.
Otero did all he could to slide across and get a touch to it. Unable to keep it out. 3 minutes tacked on to the end of this first half. And the conversation for Martin Perelman and his Orlando side will be drastically different than it might have been 15 minutes ago. And there might be more in store. Gourdet looking through for Mullings. Took it away from Orlando right off the kickoff. Here's Mohammed. Seemed like he had Jack Lynn through. Tried the extra dribble. Didn't work out. Reed. Valencia. Jarvis had it taken away by Rivera. Wilfredo Rivera looking for support, going 1v3, and a careless foul from Diha. You had the attacker cornered going 1v3. The only way he was getting out of that was if you took him down and you gave it to him. Rivera had nowhere to go. Diha extends the lifeline. Free kick at the other end put New York up 2-1. Now Solis and Tablante stand over this one. It's Tablante, and it's one he'd like back. Nowhere near the frame of goal. New York has been incredibly efficient. They have 4 shots, all 4 of them on target. by Williams. Freeman won't get there. And that might bring us to halftime. And it will. Orlando opened the scoring 5 minutes in. It was an own goal for New York. But the Red Bulls come roaring back. Sasule in the 31st, and Gourdet on a free kick directly in the 45th to give them a 2-1 lead after going down 1-0 early. We will have highlights and stats from our first half coming up. But first, Matchday 9 finally doled out a loss to the top team in the East, while the West still has one unbeaten side. And now all teams have a win under their belts after that topsy-turvy week. Michelle and Samana take one last look back at the match day in Matchday Rewind.
Orlando City Heat returns home.
MLS Next Pro's Matchday 9 is up there with arguably one of the best in the Young League's history. Alongside Samara, I'm Michelle, recapping a truly historic weekend in MLS Next Pro. And there's nowhere else we can start than with the heroics in Huntsville. HCFC earned their first club win in history in their long-awaited home opener. Crown Legacy took a 1-0 lead just 4 minutes into the match. But after a late first-half equalizer from Jonathan Bolaños, Huntsville City completed the comeback victory off the foot of Asad Liadi and the heartbeat of Huntsville. Following the match, Coach Jack Collison explained just what a difference the home atmosphere made.
To walk out, see the colours, hear the noise, and I think it really drove the boys on. You look towards the end of the game where it's getting tight. Previous games on the road, we've struggled sometimes towards the end of the game, but you could see the energy, the fight, the desire, and it was all that with the crowd involved that got us over the line in the end.
The upset ended Crown Legacy's 7-game win streak, handing them their first loss of the season.
There was also another first added to the books, and while not as historic for soccer reasons, a first is a first nonetheless, and MLS Next Pro had its very first goose interference. A pair of local geese wanted to get in on the action and play a part in helping the hometown side pull off a win. And it seems like they brought good luck to Whitecaps FC too, as the team slowed the roll of Defiance's 4-game unbeaten run, thanks to a second-half screamer from Cameron Habibullah.
And while the Geese came in multiples in Vancouver, the goals did the same for the class of 2022 standouts in Philly. Chris Donovan posted a brace for Union 2 to help his team lead 3-1 until the 75th minute. That's when Esmir Bayraktarovic got even with his second of the night. Then, with things tied at 3, he completed the comeback for Revs 2 with a third goal of his own. The hat-trick goal coming in stoppage time to give Revs 2 a dramatic and thrilling 3 points on the road.
We also saw a different kind of heroics from North Texas SC's Diego Hernandez. Diego recently shared his journey back to the field after being involved in a terrible car accident.
In terms of physical, my body was sore, yes, and I had the usual bruises and scratches, but I didn't break a single bone. In fact, I walked in 2 weeks, and I'm so fortunate for that. But one of the things that did leave a mark on me was that mental side of it, that many players face whenever they face adversity.
His road to recovery is firmly in the past as he notched his first ever professional goal on Sunday. It was a beautiful moment seeing Diego's teammates joining him in celebration. Matchday 9 was such a special weekend in MLS Next Pro. We'll have more notable moments after Matchday 10. See you again soon.
Still more from Matchday 9. Michelle now highlights the best team and player performances from Matchday 9 in this edition of the Spotlight.
After a historic week in MLS Next Pro, the guys made it pretty hard to choose just one selection per honor. I'm Michelle Montaigne, highlighting the guys who did make it into the spotlight following one of the most exciting match days yet. A very deserving Diego Hernandez of North Texas SC gets us started as the rising star of match day 9. The 18-year-old midfielder scored his first goal of the season, but what makes the feat so much more than just a goal is the fact that it followed an improbable comeback to the field after Hernandez was involved in a life-altering car accident. On the heels of remarkable perseverance, Hernandez is back on the pitch with his first goal and first Spotlight Award of hopefully many more to come for the Academy product. And as hard as the Spotlight selections were this week, the MLS Next Pro player of Matchday 9 was probably the easiest. It belongs to none other than Revolution 2's Esmir Bayraktarovic following his hat-trick fueling comeback performance. Bayraktarovic's third goal in the match came in the first minute of stoppage time, giving New England Revolution 2 the 4-3 victory. Having scored in all 3 MLS Next Pro matches he's played in this year, his hat trick brings his goal total to 5 on the season, placing him in a tie for third in the Golden Boot standings. Now, he almost walked away with the best goal of Matchday 9 as well, but in one of the most narrow decisions yet, it was Whitecaps FC 2 Cameron Habibullah who earned best goal of Matchday 9. The midfielder in transition gets the ball well beyond the 18-yard box, then sails it to the upper right corner past a diving Andrew Thomas for Tacoma. Habibullah earned the only goal of the match to give Whitecaps FC2 the win and to move them ahead of opponent Tacoma Defiance in the power rankings. And the team of Matchday 9, well, that belongs to the story of the weekend, Huntsville City FC. The club experienced so many firsts this weekend. First home game in their newly redone stadium. First sellout of the season. Most importantly, probably their first win of the season, handing Crown Legacy FC their first loss. And honestly, having been in Huntsville for the game, their fans probably deserve part of this spotlight recognition this week for the atmosphere they created that energized HCFC's 2-1 comeback victory. Big congrats to all of this week's Spotlight honorees. I know next week's probably going to be even harder with the full slate we have for Matchday 10. Enjoy all the extra matches you get.
Good luck to Michelle for figuring out how she's going to handle the spotlight in Matchday 10. We've seen 22 matches through last night's LA Galaxy and Vancouver Teal in a match that began all the way back on Wednesday. Here is a sampling of the exciting action already in the books in the past week.
Nice pass. It is going to be Alex Picasso on the cross. His shot. Oh, great save. No, goal! Corner, and how about the equalizer by the Loons? Take another look. There's the corner, and Emmanuel Iwe has been trying to find a good angle to cross. Now Pacheco here. Nice pass. Levin in the cross. Shot block. Goal! Up top. Good pass by Dunbar. On the far side, long shot, header, goal! Gotta be careful. Pacheco, nice touch, inside the 18, shot, goal!
This is Hernandez, the 18-year-old out of the FC Dallas Academy. Sends it over atop a free runner, and it's a goal! Really felt like, despite quite getting the results they loved lately. Oh, how about that goal? Same at home and on the road, 2-2-1, both here and on the road. Here's a big opportunity, and it's cashed in. Top team in the Western Conference trying to get to 24 points. Malone, stopped by Eyestone. And that breathes some life into North Texas. Beautiful stop with the... Aguirre finishes and gives Colorado the second point.
Nice flip inside in the 18. A chance here for City 2. And good cut and an opening, and that's going to count. Quick pass to Jackson. The cross. Header. Goal! Far side, here comes North Texas in the attacking third. On the move. Cross. And we are tied at 2. Take the shot for City 2. Got it. So Garcia, can he keep this match alive? Facing Michael Creek. Oh, what a stop! Creek got his hands out. And the 2 points will go to St. Louis City 2.
Micheletto playing 1-2 touch inside the 18, and it's at the back of the net. Rayo, and it's in. Raffanello, a local product from Delran, New Jersey. Shoots, scores. The Union get on the board. Shot, goal! The Union start the attack on the far side. Shot from outside, and it's in! To lead. What a casual approach. He had time again, puts his head down, just fires it into the back of the net, catches everyone off guard, even his teammates.
Busy week it was. 22 games again from Wednesday through Sunday, and we're the 23rd right here of match day 10. The result you just saw there to close it out. Philadelphia Columbus, that's the one that sticks out above the rest. Raffanello, the hat-trick hero, wins it 3-2 for Philadelphia. They're struggling right now in the middle of the table. It's the second consecutive loss now for Columbus, the reigning champions, and because of it, in the live table, they've tumbled to 4th. And New York, with the current lead they have over Orlando, has catapulted all the way up to 3rd in a tie with New England Revolution 2. So some movement going on in a busy week around the league. When you have 23 games in a match day, you're going to have plenty of motion in the standings. We'll take a look at highlights from half number 1 of our game here to see exactly how New York got into the lead and currently climbed up to 3rd place in the live table. Early opportunity for Almaguer was carried away by the 15-year-old goalkeeper, Alan Rutkowski. But later in the half, the ball would once again find Almaguer in time and space. Instead of a shot this time, goes for the service. Diving header by Lynn, saved by Rutkowski. But no time to react on the ricochet. D-Hop puts it into his own goal. From there, Orlando had opportunities to maybe add on. And never took any of them clinically. And all of a sudden, the balance of power shifted New York's way. Their press was wreaking havoc on Orlando. Levante Mullings, 1, 2 guys that he slips by. And then threads the needle in front. Easy tap in for Kasule. That made it 1-1 in the 31st minute. And then from there, it continued on their upward trajectory, New York. Just controlling more possession, finding more time and space in the attack. They could have scored more than the 2 they ended up with, to be fair, in that first half. Sabufu, that one that went past the near post. Free kick on the other end for Orlando was saved, but not this one from New York. Gourdet with the whip over the wall, curled it near post, snuck it past Otero. There was a big gap in the wall between Kibanguchi and Sablante that Perelman will not be happy with for Orlando. Take a look at the stats then from half number 1. Seems one-sided. Nearly 60-40 in possession, 9 shots to 4, 5 on target to 4. But it's the other way in the scoreboard because New York has been incredibly efficient when they have had the ball. So much of that possession advantage for Orlando has just been playing around the back, trying to evade New York's pressure. But the Red Bulls have come to play, they've come to win, and they have a lead. York coming into this game on the backs of 3 consecutive regulation wins. Orlando had a bit of a rough patch, but won in the midweek against Inter Miami. New York was in 4th. Orlando was in 5th when the night began. Now it's New York all the way up to 3rd as we're set to begin half number 2. Orlando right to left in the purple. New York left to right in the white. Joe Malfa with you here on MLSNextPro.com. The last half of a 23-match match day 10 here in MLS Next Pro. Started back on a Wednesday and it ends here on Monday. Freeman tried to clear it away. Bounces favorably for New York, and Freeman shielding it out for a goal kick. They insist to play out of the back. They stick to that identity, Orlando. Despite the struggles here tonight against New York, playing it from the back. In a way, it's admirable for Orlando. Heard so many coaches around the league speaking highly of Martin Perelman and this group's willingness to stick to this style. Playing it the quote-unquote right way. Rolling up out of the back. Not shying away from it when the going gets tough in a game like this against a team that's pressing you oh so well. Now they break those lines. What can they do with it? Shaq Muhammad. Muhammad going for a goal. Cut it all the way over the top and out of play. Leading at halftime this year, New York 2-1-1. As Mullings is called for the foul. They have yet to have a come from behind victory this year, New York. And they allow the first goal. 0-1-1 when conceding first. Here's Freeman down the right side, looking in front for Lynn. Good effort by Jaden Reed to knock it out for a corner. Otherwise, Jack Lynn might have had it. Get another tap in front. Corner to the penalty spot. Solis, not much he could do with it. Through to Jack Lynn on the left foot, and it blocked out for a corner. So quickly Orlando can step on the gas offensively. with Lynn as the focal point. Rivera's corner. Kibanguchi rescues it with a central header. And it's back out for Tablante. Rivera. Medina slips it through. Mohammed. Another corner on the way for Orlando. Rivera, another corner to the backside for Kibanguchi. Not sure if the corner is sent again to Rivera, not essentially loose in front for Freeman. And it is out for a goal kick. Just getting set to say, not sure if the corners have just been overcooked by Rivera or if there's a concerted effort to go long and have Kibanguchi knock it back centrally. So far, all the corners have appeared to end up that way for Orlando. None of them have worked out in their favor. Offside for Mohammed, coming back to that ball. This portion of the match is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Back for Witkowski. Lynn giving chase. Diha keeps it in. To Freeman on the right side. Mohammed running out ahead. Here's Shaq Mohammed. Mohammed in front, punched away by Rutkowski. And behind Jack Lynn, who was lurking. That's better from Orlando, but now in transition, can New York make it 3? Gourdet with 1 goal already. Had it blocked this time. Falls again for Gourdet, blocked the second time. Solis surges through the middle. Still Solis. Almaguer. Tablante, a step over. Cuts it back inside. Moises Tablante lays it off. Medina for Lynn. Now Solis. Wilfredo Rivera settles it. New York not allowing anything in the box right now. Great job of keeping everything on the perimeter. Bulls prepping 2 subs right now. The first 2 of the match. Ronald Doncor, one of them. Copeland Berkeley the other. It'll be Gutierrez and Avante Mullings coming off.
Ladies and gentlemen, substitution for New York Red Bulls 2 in the 55th minute. Leading the game is number 88, Avante Mullings. He's replaced by
Mullings leaves, having left his mark on this one. Terrific bit of individual skill on the dribble in the box in the first half to set up the Ibrahim Kasule goal that tied it at 1. Back for Rutkowski, approaching the hour mark. Orlando playing from behind ever since the 45th minute. Free kick goal from Ricardo Gourdet, put New York up 2-1. It'll be a 4th consecutive victory for New York if they can hold on. The streak started back in early May, a 2-0 victory over rival NYCFC, followed by a 1-0 win over Inter Miami, and this past midweek, 2-1 over Huntsville. Diha is it off to Jarvis, back for Diha. Here's Berkeley, end line, thrown in front, and out for a goal kick. For New York, it's part of a larger run of success as well, even going back to the end of April. They finished April unbeaten in 3 matches for 2 1-0 wins and then a shootout victory, so picked up the bonus point. They win this in their last 8 games, New York. They will have 1 loss, 1 shootout win, and 6 regulation victories. It will put them in 3rd place should they hold on. Almaguer, Freeman cuts it back. Alex Freeman cuts upfield on his left foot, taken down. Cleanly won by Jaden Reed. Now on the counter, Gourdet couldn't catch up to it. Alex Freeman has 3 goals to his name this season, 1 assist. Orlando has a gripe. Reed did not get any of the ball there, just came through the body. He set up Orlando with a free kick just outside the 18. Shapiro Thompson sets up the free kick. Drives it top of the 6. Jarvis was waiting for it. Two-thirds of the way through this one. New York up 2-1 on the road against Orlando. Here on MLSNextPro.com. Happy to have you along this evening. Joe Malfa with you from Osceola Heritage Park in Kissimmee, Florida. On Memorial Day, as you remember those who give their lives for this country. Rutkowski off his line. What are you doing? Jack Lynn slides it in. Empty net. Mental error from the 15-year-old keeper. Jack Lynn pounces. It's his 4th goal in 3 games, and we're level again. We've seen Rutkowski confident off his line tonight. This one was maybe less confidence and more just a mental error, a misjudgment. Didn't seem like he'd be able to get there. It was a long run, and he had defensive help back. You like to see that run from a keeper if there's no defensive help, but he had multiple defenders there.
Ladies and gentlemen, your OCB goal scored by number 27, Jack
Dia.
in the 65th minute. Assist
Less than a half an hour to go now. See if we can produce a winner. Or if we are headed to a shootout tonight. Jack Lynn's 6th goal of the season, his 4th in 3 games. And don't forget the own goal from the 5th minute of this match was created by Jack Lynn. Diving header in was saved by Rutkowski. Bang bang play off the ricochet was put into the own goal. Valencia. This portion of the match is brought to you by your Central Florida Audi dealers. Visit AudiOffers.com for exceptional offers. Part of playing the position as a 15-year-old if you're Rutkowski. Only way to gain experience as a goalkeeper is by playing and learning from the mistakes. He's made quite a few big saves tonight for New York to be proud of. Keep this game where it's at. A mental error there that he'll learn from, leading to the equalizing goal. And now change is coming. It's all for Ricardo Gourdet. Replaced by Oladayo Thomas.
Ladies and gentlemen, substitution for New York Red Bull 2. In the 63rd minute, leaving the game is number 80, Ricardo Gourdet. He's replaced by number 90, Oladayo Thomas.
This is the first time this season in a game for New York Red Bulls 2 that both teams have scored multiple goals. There's been a lot of 1-0 victories, 0-0 draw, 1-1 draw, a couple of 2-1 score lines, even a 3-1 score line. But the first time we've had an offensive explosion like this where both teams have multiple goals in a Red Bull game this season. Part of that, they struggle offensively. Part of it, they're so tough to break down defensively. Rutkowski punches it away. Surprise in the near post. Here's Muhammad! His first goal for OCB. Shaq Muhammad, the number 2 overall pick, finally on the score sheet, and Orlando's ahead. His 8th appearance, his 2nd start. He's been longing for this first goal, and it finally comes. That one was actually off the post, not Rutkowski. Fell perfectly for Muhammad, and then he kissed it off the post and in. Organization so high on Muhammad, the talent he brings to the table. Like him enough to have drafted him second overall, and that's after trading Ruan to DC United for that second pick.
Ladies and gentlemen, your OCB goals.
Change now for Orlando in the aftermath of that goal. Christian Medina comes off. Zachariah Taifi comes in. All of Shaq Muhammad's appearances were off the bench until last game. Played in front here, almost an equalizer for New York.
Ladies and gentlemen, there was also a substitution for OCB in the 65th minute. Leaving the game is number 65.
Generated down the right wing by Frank Sabufu.
Number 96, Zachariah Taifi.
Good ball in. Flashing at the near post. For what would have been a second goal was Ibrahim Kasule. Two years at Duke for Shaq Muhammad. His first team All-American last year. ACC Offensive Player of the Year. Great flick on for Freeman. Alex Freeman streaking ahead. Well done defensively from behind by Jaden Reed. This game has opened up significantly after the hour mark. Played in towards Sabufu, all over the crossbar on the clearance attempt. From the corner, headed away by Muhammad. Solis, overhead kick away to safety. Shapiro Thompson weaves back in with it again, lays it off Sabufu, and it blocked. So well worked between those two players. Only one other time this season has New York conceded 3 goals or more, back on April 9th in the 3-1 loss against Crown Legacy. From the corner, punched away by Otero. And this now just the 3rd time in 11 matches that they've conceded multiple goals in a game. A lot of 1s and 0s down the line for New York. Only allowing 8 goals on the year coming in. It falls through, ahead to Sabufu, chasing Thomas. Good response from New York after going down. Seen 2 lead changes now in this game. Aside from just the 1-0 Orlando going up, New York came from behind to take a 2-1 lead. Now 2 unanswered goals from Orlando. The Go from 2-1 down to 3-2 up. Feet. Over the top looking for Solis. 20 minutes to play. How quickly things can change in a very crowded table right now. Mentioned coming in, it was New York in 4th, Orlando in 5th, and that when New York had the 2-1 lead at halftime in the live table, they were all the way up in 3rd place. Tied on points with 2nd place New England, but losing on the tiebreaker. Well, as this has evolved, it would now be Orlando jumping from 5th up to 3rd and being a point ahead of both Columbus and New York. Martin Perelman would have to be very happy with that idea of a 3rd place team going into June. Even after their rough patch in May, as they were continuing to evolve as a team. Not out of the woods yet. Diha cleared away. They went through that growth phase, players coming in, coming together, and coming together in a new country, so many of them. It wasn't easy to navigate, but to get through the last 2 weeks of March, through all of April, through all of May, and get into June, into match day 11, in 3rd place, would be quite the feat for an Orlando team that finished near the bottom of the East last year. It was perennially a doormat in USL League One before they made the switch from USL to MLS Next Pro. Never been all that competitive in terms of the results. More of a focus on player development, moving up to the first team. Now we've seen such a stark contrast in the whole league this year, where yes, there is still that notion of development. Teams are winning in the process and putting that emphasis on victories because of what that winning mentality breeds. Orlando is case in point so far this year. The concern right now is Freeman down holding his right ankle. Freeman lunges in here. He got stepped on. Red Bulls preparing another switch. Aiden Jarvis looks like his day is done. He'll be replaced by Julian Hall. Fourth sub of the day already for New York. They've got one remaining. I've only seen one sub on the Orlando side.
Ladies and gentlemen, substitution for New York Red Bulls 2 in the 74th minute. Leaving the game is number 44, Aiden Jarvis. He's replaced by number 41, Julian Hall. Ladies and gentlemen, we also have a substitution for OCB in the 74th minute. Leading the game is number 32, Wilfredo Rivera. He's replaced by number 61, Tahir Reed Brown.
Tahir Reed Brown came on for Wilfredo Rivera on the Orlando side. Imagine they would sub off Alex Freeman as well. More of that in a second. Diha gave it away Freeman right now has to do exactly what Solis did in the first half, which is stand off for 3 minutes because of the injury rules here in MLS Next Pro. Was down for a non-head injury or beyond the allotted period of time, 15 seconds, so he's got to stay off for 3 minutes. Typically this late in a game, you don't see teams run the risk of having your player off for 3 minutes down a man. You typically just see a sub, but it looks like Martin Perelman wants to let this ride out and get Freeman back out there. He's still waiting at midfield. See how this plays out. Playing down a man right now. He would come on at minute 77 as the cross is put in, headed downward in front by the newly inserted Julian Hall, and New York earns a corner. See if this calculated risk by Martin Perelman pays off. Alex Freeman, a terrific player at right back for Orlando. You want him on if you could keep him on. But you also don't necessarily want to play down a man for these 3 minutes. He's committing to it. Shapiro Thompson from the corner. Out to Valencia, had it blocked. Loose, top of the box now. Chip toward the far post, and Otero grabs it. Denies Kasule his second goal on the day. Kasule, don't know if he was going for a goal on this chip or hoping somebody would get on the end of it. And I don't think Otero knew either. Watch Otero, the goalkeeper. He's just waiting, as if he's expecting a header. But it never came, and at the last moment dove to snatch it. Jacqueline is down back behind the play for Orlando as Kasule brings it ahead, slips it through for Sabufu, goes down very easily. 20 seconds until Alex Freeman could come back on. And it also looks like Orlando's preparing 2 additional subs next time the ball goes out. Lynn went down again. Looks like he's cramping up. Jack Lynn was holding his right calf, got back to his feet, jogged a little bit, went right back down. Freeman just came back on. It's back to 11v11. Lynn is back to his feet once again. Out wide to Valencia. Shapiro Thompson cuts it over the top. And Tablante will usher it along. Clears it through the middle. That's a no-no for Tablante. Shapiro Thompson waiting for somebody to get open, feeding it through. Down that left side of the box, Otero comes out, collides with Randall Doncourt, and wins it cleanly. Shapiro Thompson, watch the body language here, just wants somebody to move. Finally, Ronald Doncourt notices that little seam.
Ladies and gentlemen, the previously announced sub is now occurring in the 79th minute.
To hear Reed Brown on for Wilfredo Rivera. I mentioned that sub happened a couple of moments ago. A little false start on it. They started that change, and it was waved off. Now they complete it with Reed Brown on for Rivera. And also, Fabian Loyola coming in for Jack Lynn. As it stands, it would be another game-winning goal for Jack Lynn. Oh, pardon me, he tied it up at 2-2. Shaq Muhammad has the game-winning goal. So used to saying that Jack Lynn has the game-winning goal when Orlando's involved, but not tonight. He had the game-tying goal, and he created the own goal. His 4th goal in 3 games. Shaq Muhammad scored his 1st of the year. And that might be enough tonight to see this team over the finish line. Loyola with the fresh legs coming on. Muhammad Solis for Tablante. Moises Tablante denied by Rutkowski. It angles out for a corner. Moises Tablante, a very versatile player. You've seen him at left back all day, but now as they've made subs and brought on Tahiri Brown, Tablante pushes further up the field. Going back to this club's history in USL League One and the migration to Next Pro, Tablante has typically been more of a forward, but they like what he brings as a left back as well, being that they rely so much on the left and right backs to impact the offense. Now from the corner, Williams header down into the ground is saved by Rutkowski. So with Tablante on the left side and Freeman on the right side, you typically have two really good attacking options defensively for Orlando, coming up from the back, using the width. Now Tablante atop the lines. Reed Brown wins it. It's one right back, however, by Diha. Paul. Reed Brown. Loyola back for Solis. Out ahead to Mohamed. Somebody lost a shin guard. Play continues. Mohamed still hustling, and he commits the foul. Well defended by Orlando, clogging up the box. Valencia able to get by Freeman, who's had a terrific game defensively for Orlando. And now Shaq Mohamed still with the energy in the 83rd minute, as if it was just the 3rd minute. Up the left side, Tahiri Brown on his left foot. Lacked the service in the end. Taifi turns a good defensive play into some offense here. Saved by Rutkowski. That would have been a special goal for Taifi. Winning it off the slide tackle at midfield, carrying it 30 yards, nearly picking a corner. Have another look from where he won it to where he released it. About 35 yards later, and that was dipping to the far corner. Other way, Otero, loose ball, gets back on top of it. Feverish pace now, end to end in the dying moments of this one. Factor in stoppage time, we might have about 10 to 12 minutes left overall tonight as New York looks for an equalizer. And this portion of the match is brought to you by Body Armor, more than a sports drink. Now, exception for goalkeepers, of course, on the rule we mentioned twice tonight. Players down for more than 15 seconds, he's got to stay off for 3 minutes. will undoubtedly tack on a stoppage time, of course. But for now, 5 minutes to play. Otero just caught a knock amid all that traffic. Looks to be all right, back to his feet with a smile. Firstly here, collided with the knee of his own defender. And then he was stepped on at the end, accidentally by an opposing player. Given all the crazy action we've seen so far on match day 10 with 22 full matches in the books and nearly a 23rd, would be the least bit surprising to see an equalizer here or another goal for Orlando. Basically what I'm trying to say is don't be surprised if the final score is not just 3-2 with only 4 minutes remaining. We've already had plenty of entertainment tonight. 5 goals, split 3-2 in Orlando's favor. New York roared back from a 1-0 deficit in the first half to lead 2-1 at halftime. Now it's been 2 unanswered for Orlando in this second half. Jack Lynch started it with essentially an empty net goal after a mistake by Alan Rutkowski, the 15-year-old New York goalkeeper. And then 3 minutes later, Shaq Muhammad kissed it off the post and in with his first goal for OCB. Number 2 overall pick in this year's MLS draft. Just 3 minutes plus stoppage time. Otero doing his best to milk some extra time off the clock here. Waving everybody forward and launching it down toward the corner. 2 minutes to go of the 90. Stoppage time might be a bit heftier than we initially expected. The half was cruising along for a while. It's been ground to a halt in the last 10 minutes or so. Ahead to Julian Hall. Well defended again by Taifi. Second time he's had a massive tackle around midfield to stop an attack. But now he's out of position, and Reed Brown recovers for him. 90 seconds of the 90. Otero long again. Anytime they get it now, Orlando, you figure they're going to go long, go forward, keep it away from goal, take time off the clock. End line, it's Muhammad. Loyola back for Tablante. Holding it up in the corner to here, Reed Brown. Still with it, Reed Brown wins the corner. This is textbook how to close out a game from Orlando. Five minutes of stoppage time is the word. And continue to keep it in the corner, Orlando. Loyola, he's taken down. Now into those 5 minutes of stoppage time. Throw for New York down in their own corner. Is there some more magic in this one for the Red Bulls, who scored 2 unanswered to end the first half? Go from 1-0 down to 2-1 up. That's an easy yellow card right there on Thomas Williams, but a wise one. Sent up by Shapiro Thompson. Otero uses every inch of his big frame to pluck that one out of the air.
Ladies and gentlemen, the yellow card has been issued to OCB number 68, Thomas Williams, in the added time.
In this second half, 9 shots to 7 in New York's favor, but 5 shots on target for Orlando, just 1 for New York. So 1 of their 9 have been on target. Sent over the top and grabbed again by Otero. Plucked it off the head of Sabufu. 3 minutes to go before New York's 3-match winning streak comes to an end. And Orlando would have back-to-back victories after 3 matches without a win. And despite that rough patch of 3 matches without a win, these back-to-back wins in this double match week would catapult them back up to 3rd place. It'd be 2 points back of New England and 6 back of 1st place Crown Legacy, who is just lapping everybody right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, substitution for OCB in added time. Leaving the game is number 14, Shaq.
That'll be all for Shaq Muhammad. He leaves with what could be the game-winning goal if the scoreline holds. Sanchez takes his place. Fernando Sanchez, a midfielder, not a true out-and-out striker like Muhammad. So going with an extra defensive player here as they try to see this over the finish line. Sent toward the back post, headed right up in the air and punched by Otero. Tablante heads it away. And Tablante clears. Tahir Reed-Brown, acres of space, overran the ball. Was trying to turn the corner and go to goal, but he forgot the ball. Shapiro Thompson, a poor giveaway. Fortunate that Sanchez couldn't hold on to it. Last minute or so now, brought ahead by Valencia. Sent in by Valencia, loose in front for Sabufu, but Otero's on top of it. Less than a minute. Maybe one last try up the field now for New York. Solis. glance at the watch from Ivan Cruz. Soli still with it, circling, waiting for a whistle. A turn in the corner from Alex Freeman. And Freeman will keep it in that corner. That whistle just for a foul, not to end the game. Much to the dismay of the Orlando bench. Rutkowski to bomb this one forward and hope for the best. Well beyond the 5 minutes given now. Final whistle. New York's 3-match winning streak comes to an end. It's back-to-back wins for Orlando, and they end a crazy match day 10 in second place in the Eastern Conference, thanks to a game-winning goal by Shaq Muhammad. It's his first for OCB, and the number 2 pick in the 2023 MLS Draft is our Adidas Man of the Match for his game-winning goal tonight. It came back in the 64th minute. He stuck with it off the post, settled it here in traffic, and he put it to the far post, off that post and in to win it for Orlando. 3-2 on the day. And they end the month of May in third place in the Eastern Conference after beginning this month with 3 games without a victory. So now 3 months into the season, they are in third place and in a very good spot heading into the summer. That does it for us tonight from Osceola Heritage Park in Kissimmee, Florida. Once again, your final score, OCB 3, New York Red Bulls 2. For our entire MLS Next Pro broadcast crew, I'm Joe Malfa, saying thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your Memorial Day. And don't forget, you can watch MLS Next Pro all season long at MLS Season Pass on Apple TV and MLSNextPro.com. Good night, everybody.
This copyrighted broadcast of MLS Next Pro may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcasted without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.